feel like you're nothing, but you wanna be something. Yeah, well, all you really need is hope. I just want you to trust me if you wanna be something. That's right. Let's go. Yeah, when you're feeling down and you're out, like you got nothing but doubt, you're alone in the crowd, just trying to figure it out. All of this cloud and this money got you feeling left out. Listen up to me now, every word that's out of my mouth. Wake up, it's me, you're gonna follow your dreams, or are you just gonna be another cog in the scene? You feel the hope in this beat, yeah, the hope that you need to proceed and be exactly what you want it to be. I feel right and I'm proud, hype and I'm loud, I'ma shout all about how I feel in the now. Ain't nobody ever gonna try to change me, till I'm dead pushing up daisies. I'm alone in the crowd, I won't feel down. I got hope right now, and I know I'll be found. I don't really care just what all other haters gotta say. I know everything I do is gonna make them fade away. And when you feel like you're nothing, but you wanna be something, well, all you really need is hope. I just want you to trust me if you wanna be something. Then all you really need is hope. Let's go, it's what you need when you're down, need when you're out. It's what you need when you're sad and when you feel left out. You feel an energy drought and then creeps out, but with a little bit of hope you can figure it out. Keep your head high even when you're down inside. Through the pain you fight and through the painful nights you keep striving, keep trying, keep driving, rising, keep thriving, surviving. Nothing's in your way but yourself, don't need nobody's help. You can make it through this hell, take it one step at a time, one step as you climb. If you fail you'll be fine, get back up to the grind and never lose sight of your mission. Be driven, this life is a prison if you don't have vision. You're in it to win it, so get it, don't miss it. Your chances now, so be something somehow. Don't let yourself down. That's right. Sometimes all we really need is hope.
Muted. Hi, everyone. How's it going? How are you guys? Hi, Frazzled Mom. Hi, Danette. Hi, Kim. Hi, Roberta. In the bushes. Hello. Hi, Denise. Hi, Skittles True Crime. Chopper. Amy. Good to see you guys. I know it's been a couple days. I have not been feeling well. I'm finally able to sit up at my computer. I had a upper respiratory infection that gave me a little bit of an inner ear situation going on, and it led to vertigo. And yeah, basically I've been dizzy. I've been sitting here dizzy for the last week. No, not week. It feels like a week, right? But it's been like 3 or 4 days now that it's just been really rough. But thankfully I am better for the most part. It's still hitting me here and there. So if I end up cutting this short live, or cutting this live short, I apologize for that. But I am doing a lot better than I was. But just in case I get crazy or nauseated or anything like that, I do have In the Bushes joining me today. Hi, In the Bushes.
Hi, everybody. Hit the like button, please.
That was very, very polite how you said that. Hit the like button now is what I was
Right?
expecting, but no, I'm just kidding. Hi, Christy. Hi, Pointer Lover. Yeah, it's not good. You've had vertigo, it's bad. You know what? It's I don't know, I've not really had it very many times in my life, but every time I get, ear infections, it seems like occasionally this comes with it, and, yeah, it's just it has not been a pleasant experience, that's for sure. I mean, yeah. Gotta love it, though, whenever the kids go back to school and then they bring home all these little infectious diseases with them.
Yeah, that's week one. That's week
Right.
one. Week one of school starts and everybody's dying.
Exactly, right. Hi, Pointer Lover. Hi, Christy. Hi, Cooter G. Hi, Foxy. So all this broke while I was sick, of course. And I was watching Malicious Intent did a live on this. She did a really great job. Of course, half the internet, I should honestly say, has done a live on this. And I want to put my 2 cents in there. I mean, I don't know how much you guys value my 2 cents, but sometimes I feel like I have to say stuff because it's just I have a lot of opinions about this case and what is going on in this case. And then I'm going to link it back to what we see go on in YouTube. And I know that sounds weird, but we watch creator versus creator drama day after day after day on this platform. And it seems like a lot of times people jump to involving CPS and they jump to going real life on different people. And then we see situations like this where this is kids who were really in an abusive, horrific, horrible situation. And CPS was called and called and called on them prior to this all coming out. But did CPS ever take it seriously because of how often they get phone calls about YouTubers? Does that make sense? In the bushes, what do
Yeah.
you think about that?
I
It's
don't
like
think
it
it
was
had
glossed
any
over and they didn't
I
investigate
don't
it
think it
properly.
had anything to do with that. I think it has everything to do with the Mormon community and
See, and
their
I don't though.
lack of
And the
talking.
reason maybe. I don't know. Let's take a look at some of the details of this case because I know that there are some people in here who may not be familiar. Chopper is already asking. Yeah, they had 2.5 million subscribers and so many called in and they did nothing. And that's my point, pointer lover. They did have people call on a pretty regular basis on them. And we see that a lot where people on this platform reach out and they call and make claims of abuse or different things to CPS, whether it's because of creator drama or because you actually have a real concern. And I think that there's a line that we're often crossing whenever it comes to this. And it what happens though is so they get false report, false report, false report, false report, false report, false report over people because of drama or whatever else is going on or differences of opinions, and then they don't take things seriously whenever there is a real issue. And that's my opinion of it. So let me pull up this article though, and we'll go through some of the details of this, if for those of you who may not know. So let me find maybe this one. Okay, this one might be a good one that breaks down what we know. Says this child climbed out of window for help and leads to the arrest of 8 passengers' mother. Police say the children were found with severe malnourishment, neglect, and abuse. This had happened in Utah after a Utah YouTube star was arrested and charged with aggravated child abuse. New information shows that a child climbed out of a window to get help, which led to the discovery of the abuse. Ruby Franke, known for her YouTube channel 8 Passengers, which garnered the attention of millions of people around the world, was arrested Wednesday on 2 counts of second-degree felony aggravated child abuse. Arresting documents detail that the arrest was made after a child climbed out of the window of the Irvin's residence at 10:50 a.m. on Wednesday and ran to a neighbor's home for help. The home belonged to Jody Hildebrandt, who was also arrested, who is involved with a parent counseling service called uh, Coney's Ions, I don't know, and was also arrested in relation to the case. So the fact that she worked on a parent counseling service is kind of mind blowing to me in itself because it seems like to me, and I said this in people's chats, it seems like to me that the people who are screaming the loudest and are trying to show their family is perfect and are trying to put out this false perception of the way that parenting and reality and things like that should be, or relationships or whatever, so often are the abusers in the situation. Like they're sitting out there putting out this perfect picture of their home and their life and their family, and then they have this in the background. And we see the same thing sometimes with these priests or pastors that put out this, perfect life type representation, and then they turn out to be child molesters, or men who write books about marriage and being happily married and things like that. And then it turns out that they're, the biggest adulterers out there. It seems like, they put out this false perception of what I guess maybe they want their life to be or what they would want their life to be like, and that's nowhere near close to the reality that they're actually living in.
I
Sorry.
I don't know. As a common sense issue, anybody, if you're watching that YouTube channel, if you see them withhold food from their kids, if you see them withhold Christmas from a child, if you see them do anything like that, you might ought not want to listen to them, people. There's a
Yeah.
common sense thing here. And a little bit that I've seen, I had never heard of these people until this happened,
Mhm.
but people have been showing this woman's blog left and right and all the things. And I'm going to tell you, this is somebody I would not take any parenting advice from. If anything, she should be the example of what you do not do.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Jody's a whole mess as well. Hi, B Tim. Hi, Heather Brett. So, let me get hold on one second. Okay, let me read down through this some more. So it says the home belonged to Jody. Okay, I read that part. The child knocked on the door and asked for food and water, but the neighbor noticed duct tape on the child's ankles and wrist and called police, documents state. The calling party said the juvenile appeared to be emaciated and malnourished with open wounds and duct tape around the extremities, a statement from local authorities read. Police described the wounds, neglect, and malnourishment of the child to be severe in arresting documents and state that the child was taken to the hospital for treatment. After the first child was taken to the hospital, another child was discovered in the home and was found to be malnourished as well, officers reported. A search warrant was obtained by police during the search of the home, and evidence was located consistent with the markings found on the juvenile. Arresting documents state Franke was seen on a YouTube video filmed in the residence just days before the incident, which adds to Miss Franke being present in the home and having knowledge of the abuse, malnourishment, and neglect, documents state. She did not speak with police and instead requested a lawyer, arrest information, and she was ordered to be held without bail in the Washington County Jail. The Department of Child and Family Services was contacted. A statement from the Santa Clara Irvin's Public Safety Department reads, in the joint effort with the Springville Police Department, 4 minor children were taken into the care of the Department of Child and Family Services. Franke's oldest daughter, Sherry Frank, had made a post on her Instagram account with a photo of the police captioned, finally. She would later add another story with the following statement. Hi all, today has been a big day. Me and my family are so glad justice is being served. We've been trying to tell police and CPS for years about this and so glad they finally decided to step up. Kids are safe, but there's a long road ahead. Please keep them in your prayers and also respect their privacy. According to the Prevent Child Abuse Utah director, they had 90% of child abuse cases are perpetrated by people they trust. I think it's really important to understand that children on average will disclose about abuse 3 times before they get help or before they are believed. So it's really on us adults who may be receiving this information to trust that the child is not making this up. So Katie Paulson, another YouTuber, spoke with them and said, this is to a level that I don't think anyone understood. She was saying how she would send her daughter to school with no food. It was almost like she was bragging about it. This to me is alarming. Like, somebody heard this. Did they report it? It sounds like multiple people had called in and were constantly reporting this family. But again, you know, uh, this is where I have an issue because we see people utilize CPS and things like that as a weapon in drama. We see them utilize CPS as a weapon against YouTubers and things like that whenever you disagree with their content. And so I think that that plays into this, and I know that you have a difference of opinion and you think that it's more about their religion and things like that. I just don't. I think that this honestly has to do with the fact that stuff is brushed under a rug because you sit there and you hear it time after time after time. You report, you report, you report, you report, you report, and then nothing is done until something like this happens because they gloss over it. I mean, if they're getting thousands of reports about this family, do they even actually have the time to sit there and open up each report whenever it is the neighbors, whenever it is the locals that we're calling? Did they have the ability to actually read through them? Because were they receiving hundreds of thousands of reports because they had 2.3 million followers on YouTube? Sammy, thank you so much for joining. Welcome back to the Sleuth family, and thank you for gifting a membership as well. Welcome, Tater. That's so awesome. Thank you. Do you get what I'm saying in the bushes? Because I know that, like, we get this
Yes.
a lot too,
Yes,
but
because
if
the
it was the police.
swatting on of the YouTube creators from all the places is getting ridiculous. And if you're somebody out there who's doing it, I hope the world comes for you,
Mhm.
whoever you may be out there. Do not make phony phone calls. Get even phone calls to the places because when something like this does happen, they're less likely to make it a priority to go to the home and check it out.
Yeah. Red Rock saying nothing about this abuse is the religion. Jody isn't a member. And see, and I steer away from the fact that of it being anything to do with their religion simply because I know plenty of Mormons that don't abuse their children, right?
Exactly.
You can't lump everybody into one bubble just because of their
No, no,
religion
no, no.
or
I'm not saying
okay.
Mormons abuse their children. That wasn't my point. There is a certain level of quiet when it comes to that church. Like a lot of other churches. I'm just not singling out Mormons. Um
Like a protect your own type of situation. I know that you see that in a
Silence.
lot of like closed
It's
societies, right?
silence. They when
Mhm.
it comes to any kind of abuse and children, it is very it is very hush hush.
Mm.
It doesn't mean that the Mormon community supports abuse. That's not what it means. There's just some kind of shame with it that they just don't talk about it.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. They have a responsibility to check every single case. I agree with this. I agree that they have a responsibility to check every single case. I I don't think that they have the capability to check every single report that is made. Does that make sense? Our caseworkers here, I know, are already stretched extremely thin, and they already have extremely substantial list of children and things like that that they have to look in on. Yeah, wrong. We are taught to recognize and report abuse. Uh, Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think it has so much to do with their religion. I really don't. I do know what you mean by like closed societies and how, oftentimes in closed societies there are kind of like a hush hush type of situation.
Well,
But
it's a very spare the, you know, don't spare the rod kind of a situation with a lot of religions. They
mhm,
really believe in that. They really believe, whatever, that you shouldn't take it too far, but if you do, nobody's going to say nothing.
mm.
And that is a lot of faiths, just not
Hi
Mormon. It is a
hi
lot of
Dina.
faiths.
Dina, did you get your notebook? Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with it either, Heather. I've never heard that
Well,
Mormons keep
in this
quiet on those
case,
situations.
lots of people were calling. The family
Right.
was calling
That's
and
it's
ignored.
that's what I wanna focus on too because it's not the fact that they weren't called, right? They have been called so many times. They have been called so many times. And your people were attacking you because of choice. Yeah, I would, Thistle, for sure. For sure. I don't think that this has to do with the religion. Right, it's bad people. Good, you got it? Okay, great. Okay. They've been to that house 7 times and they didn't find any issues at that moment. You can't expect them to visit the other 1,692 calls. That's the issue with mass reporting. And that's what I'm trying to get at, Heather or Amber. Okay, so they have 2.3 million followers, right? How many people from YouTube called because they saw red flags in the videos or because they did not agree with what they were seeing on their screens? How many people from the internet tried to interfere with this family? How many other people from drama type situations called CPS on this family with no hardcore proof that something was happening? And then take the 5, 10 family members or neighbors that may have been calling with legitimate complaints and throw that into the stack with all of the thousands of calls that they probably got on this family. That's my
Yeah,
point.
there's no
If they're
way.
seeing if they're seeing fake call, fake call, fake call, and then they don't see the real call or the real situation because they're getting so inundated with reports, that's my issue. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit because we're seeing this in YouTube drama almost daily now where people are making allegations to CPS and things like that. And my point is, there are children that are actually being abused in some of these homes, but will it ever be taken seriously if we are using it as YouTube war type stuff? Does that make sense?
No, you should not be. I mean, you need to step lightly when it comes to internet stuff. If it's not somebody that you don't personally know and you weren't there, or it's something real bad and they posted a video on Facebook and
Right,
you personally know them, go ahead and call. But otherwise don't. You don't know. If you
right.
don't know the situation, you got no business doing that.
Right. And that's a great point, Red Rock. The church is not the police or DCFS, and it's people's choice, not the religion. I agree. I don't think this has anything to do with religion. I hate that that was even brought up in the bushes a little bit. Chopper, do not call Mormons a cult. They are not a cult, and I won't tolerate that. I did time you out. Please, whenever you come back, don't continue to insult that religion. This has nothing to do with the religion.
Yeah, I'm not insulting Mormons. Anybody in that faith. I've got family in that faith. Know it. Um I'm not doing that. I'm just saying I've seen some attitude within the church that people are talking. I don't know what to do, and they've been told to be silent. And I'm just saying this may not be a thing here. Obviously they're not taking these kids out into public if they're emaciated and they're starving to death. These kids ain't going to church, and I don't care what they're telling YouTube. They're not taking them into the public.
Right. This is because Ruby and Jody are both horrible POSs. And that's my point. So people in their lives did try to reach out and get these kids help. Um, you're just limited about how much you can do. And the police department has been taking a lot of criticism because they did not step up more to go help these children prior to this.
Oh
So,
yeah, unfortunately they've probably got thousands of calls and they're like, "Well, this is a social services issue, call them." Social services got thousands of calls. I mean, basically, they couldn't do anything till a half-starved kid that was duct tape managed to get out a window and get to a neighbor. They're going to take some heat because there were thousands of calls. And this time they just happen to be true.
Right.
Police say this is the house a young child escaped from and went to a neighbor's house asking for food and water. They said that that child was severely malnourished along with another one they found inside the same home. Now, we talked to neighbors in this area and they said that they don't really know the homeowner of this home very well, but she's in business with a woman who has gained a huge following online with YouTube videos getting hundreds of thousands of views.
So being a mom's a full-time job, but
Popular Utah family vlogger Ruby has gained a huge following online with YouTube videos getting don't really know the homeowner of this home very well, but she's in business with a woman who has gained a huge following online with YouTube videos getting hundreds of thousands of views.
so being a mom's a full-time job, but
Popular Utah family vlogger Ruby Franke was arrested Wednesday. The 41-year-old mother of 6 is known for sharing clips of her children's daily lives on their now defunct YouTube channel, 8 Passengers.
No.
Today, she and her
My
business
bedroom was
partner,
taken
Jody
away for
Hildebrand,
7
are
months
accused
and then
of
you give it back
abusing
like
some
a
of
couple
them.
weeks.
No.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
You've been sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October.
So this kid says he was sleeping on a beanbag for 7 months. 7 months is a long freaking time. It's a long time.
And they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago.
Police say a clearly malnourished 12
Do you see her eyes whenever he's saying that? Like, she's like, oh my God. Like, this kid probably got in so much trouble after this stream ended for saying this.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October. And they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago.
Police say
Right there at the end, she's like, oh my God.
a clearly malnourished 12-year-old child crawled out of the window of Hildebrand's Ivans area home. A neighbor called 911 when he showed up at their house asking for food and water. Officers say his wrists were duct taped. He had wounds from being tied up across his body. Investigators say they found a 10-year-old girl inside the same house who was also malnourished. Frankie's family vlogs ended without a specific reason given. Frankie now works for the Utah County company Connections along with Hildebrand. It's described as a treatment program for those with mental health and addiction issues. Connections has been the subject of a lot of controversy, specifically for its teachings on parenting. Many of Frankie's siblings are also online content creators. Her sisters released a social media statement saying, quote, Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. Jody was arrested, which needed to happen. The kids are now safe. Frankie's eldest daughter, Sherry, posted this picture on Instagram with the caption, finally.
Anything insulting the Mormon Church, I'm going to delete, Mama Mueller. I do not think that this has to do with the Mormon Church, and I have already warned Chopper. And if Chopper, if you continue, I will continue to time you out because we're not going to insult a religion in here. Period. Yeah, the interview is interesting with the daughter. Yeah, as far as I know, BTM, I have not seen anything concrete about the dad at this point. For all we know, the actual abuse of the children took place inside of Jody's home and with Ruby. We don't know about him being involved to this point anyways. so far with duct tape or abuse, malnourishment, things like that. Now, an opinion about how the children were raised, um, that is that's where the opinions come in, I guess, right? Could you view what they were doing to these children prior to them separating as abuse? I think it's a pretty fine line for sure. All you heard was he separated from her earlier this year. You take that with a grain of salt. Eh, This ain't got nothing to do with the Mormon church, right? All religions get distorted. I've never met.
I want to know if they're separated, did he just stop seeing his kids? Okay, I'm done with this marriage, so I'm done with my kids too. Why has he not seen his kids? Or has he seen them
To
and
know
knew
that they
they
were
were
being
that bad?
abused. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, honestly, is if he was aware that they were getting like losing weight or being abused at all. I'm not sure. You think a T channel had a video earlier today, yesterday, saying that Kevin was speaking out, saying that he had no idea of the things going on. Right. And I did see that. I seen that he was claiming that he didn't know anything about the abuse. And he's also trying to fight for the children to go with him. I don't know until this is fully investigated and until the children have their opportunity to speak out about the things that were happening to them. Certainly, that's going to take time. Um, I know it took months. It takes months sometimes for children to be comfortable enough to speak about the horrors that happened to them, and they'll use like forensic investigator or examiners and things like that to question and find out, who exactly was involved with any of the different types of abuse that were taking place inside of this home. It's going to be a good question.
In the next slide, she said her family is glad justice was served. She wrote, quote, "We've been trying to tell police and CPS for years about this," end quote. The Santa Clara Ivans Police Department did not provide an update on the children's condition. According to the Washington County Sheriff's Office, Franke is still in custody. At this point, we know the Santa Clara Ivans Police Department is working with the Springville Police Department on this case. We will continue to bring you updates as we get them, both down here in southern Utah and up in Utah County.
I want to know how those kids were tied up that it left marks if they were already wearing duct tape. I'm a little confused by that.
Right. So let's watch this one. This one has a little bit of a snippet of an interview. Oh, wait. No, this is the one we totally just watched. Hold on. He was around for the beanbag incident and Xmas for the youngest. In your opinion, that was also considered abuse, so he knew. Physical abuse, he may have been unaware of. Just your opinion, though. Right. And that's where I think it becomes a line, right? Because is withholding Christmas from a child abuse? Some families don't celebrate Christmas at all. If you're using it as a form of emotional abuse, however, that's an issue. If And so that's what I mean. Like it's a very fine line, very fine line. Um, do I think that children deserve punishments or repercussions to their actions whenever they do something wrong? Yes, that's how they learn, that's how they grow, how they learn to behave in a proper way that is suitable for society at some point, right? Because you can't always say yes to everything. Is taking Christmas away extremely extreme? Oh yeah. Heck, yeah, I think so. Is making a child sleep on a beanbag for 7 months and taking his room away for 7 months? That's That's a little bit extreme. That's a lot of bit extreme, right? And so it becomes a line, like, where does the line go from punishment to emotional abuse? And I think that's definitely for the courts and for CPS and things to decide. Like I said, I'm sure they are going to interview these children and try to find out exactly how long have they been emotionally and physically abused, and who were the partakers in that abuse? Who were the people who participated in their daily struggle that they went through? Yeah, the consequences have to align with the behavior. Exactly. You'd love to know how Ruby was raised and what her home life was like. Yeah. Let me pull up this video. I thought this one was interesting, and this one does have the kids in it, but I want to show you guys their Facebook page. Um, they have a blog on Facebook. It's a couple years old from the last time that it was updated. But they did a Wet Ones commercial. And I think it's this one. Is it this one? I just thought it was interesting considering what happened down the road. Whoops. Okay. So this is from their Facebook page. This is a Wet Ones commercial that they did back in 2018. And so they were getting sponsored and they were big, right? So here we go.
The morning of a trip, we like to be nice and slow and quiet.
Because we find the kids respond better to tranquility.
Wake up, wake up, wake up! Everyone wake up! Life's gonna leave. We gotta get out of bed now. We gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go!
So I thought that that was interesting because of how she's, like, using the bullhorn and stuff like that in this commercial, and it's meant to be funny about, how she is getting the children out of bed and, like, screaming at them and things like that through this bullhorn, and it's just the exact opposite, tranquility and peace and stuff that they were saying in the commercial, and then here she is, like, screaming at them through a bullhorn, and it's just it's just ironic considering that now we know she was doing all of this bad stuff to them. I'm gonna mute it.
Wet Ones hand wipes.
Like, all the kids look healthy, but are they happy in these videos? Were they being emotionally cared for through this time period, or was their reality even back in 2018 like this very strict, very like you have to be perfect all the time, you have to do exactly what you're saying, exactly what you want, were they living trying to live up constantly to expectations that were not meetable for children their ages? Yeah, in your opinion, these kids were probably not allowed to be kids. Your daughter and her husband don't celebrate Christmas and do not teach the kids about Santa Claus, but they still buy them gifts at that time of year because other children are getting gifts as well. We don't do Santa in my family. We do not do Santa Claus because I celebrate Jesus's birthday, and we do balloons and we do birthday cake and things like that. And Jesus living inside of my heart gives presents to them because he wants to celebrate his birthday, and that's just how we do it. We give each other gifts because we care about each other, and it's a celebration of his birthday. And since he can't be here to open presents, we open presents for him, kind of deal. Um, but we don't do Santa. We don't do Halloween. We don't trick or treat. I take my kids out, I buy them some candy. We don't do that. But that doesn't mean that they're being abused because they don't get to celebrate Halloween or Christmas the same way that other kids do. It's just it's okay to believe differently, but it's about how you approach it. Yeah, crazy wake up scream. You would really like to know when the physical abuse started. Was that going on off camera, or did that just start after he left? I wanna know that too, Pearl.
Police say this is the house a young child escaped from.
Hold up the wrong one again. You're back. You had a phone call. Welcome back, Kim. Okay, let me get. Bushes, you still there?
Yeah,
Okay, you got really quiet.
I'm sorry. I was just waiting for you to play the video.
Oh, no, it's okay. I gotta find it. I apparently closed it. How about that?
I mean, these kids must have been somewhat bad off because they put them in the hospital.
Right. And that's just it. So like they put them in the hospital and they considered their abuse to be severe. So this had to be going on for quite a while. You understand what you're talking about. You remember one Christmas you were slapped in the face in front you were slapped in the face in front of the Christmas tree. What? That's why. Have a good day, Chopper. Mm.
Everything about this case just disturbs me to no end.
No, I agree. I'm trying to find the link for the arrest affidavit, and I don't know where I put it. Okay. So, I mean, their abuse was bad, right? She was charged with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 counts of aggravated child abuse. And so her 6 counts of aggravated child abuse went from, it says that she knowingly inflicted injury upon a child, serious physical injury, and having the care of custody of the child caused, permitted, inflicted other serious injury upon said child. So my question too is, so she was aware of the abuse, which is part of why they arrested her for this. My question is though, was it her physically abusing them, or did she just knowingly overlook the fact that she put these children in Jody's home and Jody was abusing them? I'm really curious to find out, was Jody the person who was the physical aggressor or not? Yeah, the police said they were emaciated. You don't know enough about this case, Roberta. I recommend watching Malicious Intent. She reads down through the entire arrest affidavit. And she did a really good job pulling up a lot of the details. Plus, she was familiar with the case prior to it coming, like prior to it happening. She used to watch them. So it says child abuse was found at Jody's residence and made after contact with the police was found to be malnourished and initially refused medical. After approximately 4 hours, the child agreed Jody was found in the direct care of the children and determined to be malnourished by a medical professional upon arriving at the hospital. Ruby Franke was seen on a YouTube video filmed in Jody's home, which was posted 2 days ago. This observation adds to the fact that Miss Franke, the mother of blank, is being present in the home and having knowledge of the abuse, malnourishment, and neglect. With this information, it's believed that Miss Franke had knowledge of the malnourishment, abuse, and neglect. This charge will be enhanced to a second-degree felony. I ask that Miss Franke not be allowed to bail due to the severity of the injuries and the fact that DCFS has taken 4 of her other children into custody. I have yet to speak with 2 of them. And so that was whenever they were going for bail and things like that. That's what they said against them having bail. My thing is, though, was she the aggressor? Was she the person who was doing this, or did the physical abuse start with Jody? What type of relationship did Ruby and Jody have that led to this type of abuse being okay in Ruby's eyes? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, starving a child is cruel, there's no excuse. I don't think she would give up control to Jody. She seems like a control freak. Do you think that she was the abuser then, primarily, Twist, and that Jody is gonna end up, like, getting pinned with more of it because it happened at her home? That's a question that I have. Wasn't at home at the time of the arrest. More charges are coming for Ruby. I don't know. I guess we will see more, though, on Friday whenever court happens. I will definitely be covering this case more, probably more in depth tomorrow, too. I think today was a little bit rougher because of the fact that, like I said, this is the first day I've been able to sit at my computer, so I've really been listening to a lot of the details and stuff like that, and I've got my tabs all mixed up right now, and it's driving me insane, so I apologize for that. We'll probably come live a little bit later or tomorrow with more information and more details about this case for those of you guys who are trying to follow it. I know that later on tonight as well, I will be live with the Look My Life. We are on her channel this evening, and so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, and I will see you guys all there later.
Hit the like on the way out if you didn't already, guys. Bye.
Have a good day. Bye, everyone.